Hey there family, so I'm going to be talking today about when is the right time to begin dating after a divorce or a breakup of a long-term relationship. So let's go. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Peter Gordon and I'm a graduate student working towards what will be a doctorate in clinical psychology. I also happen to be a life and a health coach, and I make videos on mental health, philosophy, fitness, wellness, and everything I hope can help you to lead your most profound life. And while you're here, don't forget to click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you're notified each time that I post a brand new video. Also feel free to share this video, like it, and comment on it. Now let's get into the heart of today's topic. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about when is the right time to begin dating after a divorce or the breakup of a long-term relationship. But before I go any further, let me put this little disclaimer out there. The opinions shared in this video are mine and mine only. They're based on my experiences, also from observing friends and family and working with clients in therapy. So be sure to take what I say with a grain of salt and come to your own conclusions, because ultimately you are the expert in your life. This video also should not be used in place of seeking therapy if there's such a need. So let's start with this one basic fact. No one gets married or goes into a relationship with the expectation that it's going to end in a divorce or breakup. We all want to believe that a relationship is going to last forever, but that is not reality, right? You see, the fact is over 50% of all first marriages end in divorce. Now when it comes to second marriages, approximately 60% of those end in divorce, and the stats get worse as it relates to third marriages at about 74% divorce rate. So this leads to a bunch of unhappy people running around trying to figure out this thing called love. And based on the statistics I just mentioned, are essentially failing at it. And I believe these high statistics are a result of individuals who are not fully healed or evolved into better persons from their divorces. Hence, broken people end up together and adding more discord to their lives. So this brings me back to the reason for this video, which is my humble attempt at trying to answer the question of when is the right time to begin dating after a divorce or the end of a long-term relationship. Now, I believe that each of us, of course, are unique and heal or evolved at different paces based on innate qualities and life circumstances. But make no mistake, a divorce is a hard thing to work through. In many ways, it can feel like grieving the physical loss of a loved one. Nonetheless, I believe it's something that can be worked through and ultimately allowing us to be better for the next person. But in order to be healed and be better after a divorce, I believe that one needs to go through 4 key stages before beginning to date seriously. And when I say date seriously, I'm referring to trying to find a new life partner, if that is what you're looking for. So let's go through each stage, which, by the way, don't have to be linear. That is, they don't have to necessarily be chronological. But I do believe you have to go through each at some point in order to leave your baggage behind and be able to truly connect with someone new. So let's go. As I said earlier, divorce or breakup of a long-term relationship can feel like a loved one dying. Essentially, it can be a painful loss, even if you're the one that initiated the breakup. Now, here's what I've seen in my own life after going through a divorce and working with clients in therapy. And it is that until we radically accept the pain we're in, the healing and the growing process will forever be on hold. In essence, you cannot fix what you aren't willing to admit or recognize. Again, healing from any emotional pain begins with radically accepting it. Because if you don't acknowledge and work through that pain, you will consciously or unconsciously rather, as well, pass that pain on to somebody else. On a side note, one sure sign that you have not recognized and dealt with the pain is if you're constantly talking about your ex, whether good or bad, with a new potential partner. And here's another fact. Women tend to acknowledge their pain much better compared to men. This probably explains why the research indicates that women statistically tend to handle divorces and breakups better than men. One of the hardest things for a lot of us to do, including myself at times, is the essential act of being able to hold ourselves accountable. You see, when a marriage or relationship ends, it is never the fault of just one party. We all play a role, whether consciously or unconsciously. Perhaps you were unfaithful, or maybe you turned a blind eye to your partner's indiscretions and bad behaviors. In essence, you might have a role as a perpetrator, an enabler, or both. And the point I'm trying to make here is that by being able to truly acknowledge your role in the demise of your relationship grants you the space to evolve from self-destructive tendencies. In effect, it allows us to become self-aware, and self-awareness allows us to radically accept ourselves as we are, which in turn promotes change. So what do I mean by this? Well, when we go through a divorce or a breakup of a long-term relationship, our self-confidence can get damaged in the process. And for many of us, we have this notion that the way to repair our bruised ego or boost self-confidence is by going out on a bunch of dates or repeatedly engaging in penis or vagina therapy. In essence, all we need to do is sleep around with a bunch of people to prove that we're still desirable, and maybe that's not such a bad thing to get out of the house and connect with others and feel alive again from just pure physical contact. But what I've found is that it's really more about being validated. And the problem with that mindset is that it is contingent on outside sources making us feel good about ourselves. It ignores the fact that self-worth is an internally driven mindset that must be intentionally worked at improving consistently, especially after going through a divorce. There's a psychological difference to being alone compared to feeling lonely. Being alone is a choice and a physical state, and choosing to be alone can be a healthy state because it can allow one the time to be introspective, reflective, all the while being able to process our emotions. Loneliness, on the other hand, is an emotional state where you're feeling alone or disconnected from others, even when they're right next to you. And if you're dating because you're feeling lonely, it is a sign that perhaps you have not worked through the issues of why you feel that way in the first place. Therefore, no matter who you end up with, that feeling of loneliness will always be there. So with all that being said, how can one expedite the process of working through the 4 stages, which again do not have to be chronological? Well, the first thing I would say is lean on your circle of friends. You'll be surprised what others have gone through and how they in turn can help you work through your own set of challenges. Journaling is also another great way of unpacking your thoughts and developing self-awareness. Another thing too is if you have a spiritual advisor, that can also be another great option. I've found that clients in therapy that have a strong spiritual foundation in whatever form tend to respond to treatment well. And of course, therapy itself is also another great option, particularly if you find yourself ruminating constantly about the past while not being able to move forward. So I hope this all makes sense. And if you're going through or have gone through divorce or breakup, just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I promise you, you'll come out on the other side profoundly change. Stay well, family. But hey, before you go, don't forget to click that subscribe button, which is my face right there. Also, if you want to check out some of my other videos, feel free to click any of these 2 boxes. Stay well, family.